Hello and welcome to the Easy Degree. Comic-Con has been going on this week and we are here to talk about all of the trailers. And when I say all of the trailers, I mean some of the trailers because there are too many for us to be able to comment on. And there's actually only some of them that we really do care about. With me this week, as always, is Rob Fursland, Maddie Cunningham, Ben Ward, and Luke 2.
Hello.
There we go, they are here.
Just me, apparently.
Just Rob.
Only Rob.
I brought
Just
them
Rob.
here to talk to me this week.
I'm lonely.
We're going to kick it off with all things DC. How does everyone feel about this?
I'm going to come out and say that was a very, very solid meh for me.
Mm-hmm.
That was, in 3 words, kind of bland. Looked kind of bland. That was
Yeah.
my 3-word review for this
At
one.
least it had a better colour palette.
Well, yeah, it has colour, but they still somehow made it dull.
I don't know. I'm getting from the battle scenes in it. It's just giving me flashbacks to the third Hobbit, where it was just masses of CGI mush. Just
One
like
thing I did notice is they're apparently going to be doing this as a film in 2 parts because you've got his
Why?
brother and then you've got Black Manta, 2 separate villains. So unless they're going to make this a fucking epic 3-hour movie
who
that
is-
nobody
That
wanted,
really
again.
big-eyed
yeah, that's
robot
Black
thing
Manta.
was.
Black Manta, he's one of the main villains for Aquaman. The fact that they've also had him in the
Guy
same
looks
trailer,
like a Happy Meal toy.
like because they clearly have this thing. Oh, he's going to challenge his brother for the throne, and then there's going to be another villain he has to fight as well. So, oh boy, I can't wait for this to roll on for 3 hours.
And then it turns out his brother's actually a good person.
Isn't this just the plot of Fable 3?
yeah, it is.
I'm just a little bit disappointed because, I mean, for one thing, the DC films have not had a good track record when it comes to CGI. This film does not seem to be breaking that by having the worst shark since Sharknado.
Oh, I love
What
the battle
is that
scene.
Riley, what are you
shark
talking about? That's
in
an
the
actual
opening?
aquarium.
The worst part
not.
about the worst part about that is there's already been jokes about the poster in that it came out and it was just full of Getty stock images. Like, come on,
yeah.
at least pull your wallet out a little bit.
I kind of didn't want to bash it too much because when Black Panther's poster came out, that thing looked like shit.
Yeah.
That somebody online had done with a bunch of stock images. That poster's not much better, but this trailer just does not scream confidence to me. Unfortunately.
My favourite part of all of it was when the 2 armies are squaring up against each other. One was like a row of sharks, and the other one was a row of seahorses. It was like,
Nature's
why?
greatest predator, the seahorse.
It's going to be an even fight, guys. So he brought their seahorses.
I've got to say, I'm kind of surprised that Amber Heard's still getting roles thinking about it. Because Amber Heard's playing Mera.
She was. So she briefly shows up in Justice League. She casts a water bubble,
there we go.
which after the film came out, the director James Wan went, yeah, we're not doing that. They're just going to talk underwater because that's stupid to do every time they want to have a conversation.
Yeah.
I love it if they just started talking like this. So it was like,
There's some cool visuals in it, like this screenshot I've got up at the moment. Like I think that looks kind of cool. Like in terms of visuals, there's some cool stuff going on.
That's Black Manta going back. One thing I will say, they made his costume not look completely ridiculous. At
It's
least in
okay.
the shots that they gave of it. Like, when you've got a guy who effectively wears a fucking frisbee on his head, he actually looks quite good.
Moving on to DC's next film, we have something that maybe a little bit more fun with Shazam.
This is actually a DC film that I am looking forward to.
Same.
It looks like it has kind of the most original stuff going on. Plus, I fucking love Zachary Levi. He was Chuck in a Long Running series that I'm a huge fan of, and Flynn Rider in Tangled. This honestly looks like probably the most interesting DC film, but I don't know much about Shazam as a
I
character.
think that actually really helps because I think because it's got something that not as many people know. They can actually go a little bit out on a limb.
I feel that they put a random director in it, not a lot of hands-on. They thought, oh, this might not make a lot, so let's just take hands off, give it to directors, see what they can do, and they've done really well by the looks of the trailer.
I mean, this my 3-word review for this one was something colourful, finally. Like, all the way since I saw the very first picture coming out of this, when it's Shazam in the suit with the lightning bolt glowing. It's colourful, it's red, it's beautiful, it's fun. It's something that DC haven't done for fucking years.
The other thing I quite like is I'm not sure whether or not Zachary Levi actually buffed up or whether he's just wearing. It looks like he's wearing a padded suit.
It does
does.
look like it does
And that
look
kind
like
of
a
makes it
padded
kind of
suit.
funny, like because it's almost what this kid would think a superhero should look.
I just love the fact it's like, oh, you saved that crippled boy.
Here you
Here,
go.
have mystic powers. I've chosen you.
the fucking transition for Shazam is really cool.
Yeah, when
Yeah.
he says Shazam and it transforms.
The lightning bolt is
transforms.
amazing.
Also, I love how like this is really the first DC film where they haven't put too much stock into the bad guy. Don't know if that means it's going to be a bad, terrible, as in just bad
Yeah,
guy.
maybe it'll be boring.
They've
like-
got a good actor.
or whether they've gone, well, you know, the focus is this really cool superhero, because really if you didn't know it was the bad guy, like it's just this one moment where he's like, oh, you, and then just goes to punch him and then
is
can't.
I was kind of expecting them, since it was announced that The Rock was going to be Black Adam, who is Shazam's main villain. They're kind of doing him as an anti-hero. My suspicion is that if Black Adam does well and if Shazam does well, then the next movie will be a crossover of the two of them, where neither one's necessarily the bad guy, but neither one's necessarily the good guy.
What are we going to call it? Lightning Force.
No, I think they might just call it. It could be one of these where it could be called Shazam versus Black Adam, and that wouldn't sound pretentious.
Shazam.
Shazam.
Final wrap-ups for
Genius.
everyone. So let's start with Rob again. Rob, what do you think you'll be going to do with this film?
Already there.
Yeah? Luke?
Yeah, I'm hard.
Ben and Maddie? I think
Already there.
already
I'm
there.
gonna go. We'll watch.
Right, so next one we'll be looking a bit downhill, and we're going to be looking at Titan.
Oh, good.
We even do the fucking cheesy scream.
What is
Oh my god, I forgot
That
it
feels
did
like
that.
it's meant to be ironic, but I don't think it is.
No, it definitely isn't.
Watch, read,
Jesus.
shop.
Right, so this will be
Fucking hell.
the one of the first brand new commissioned pieces of television for DC's new streaming service, DC Universe.
Good job, guys.
Starting strong.
It will be 13 episodes, which is obviously shorter than I thought it was, considering the budget made it look like it was going to be a stretched out 22 episode like marathon. What do you guys think of it?
Classic DC blunder. They could not have fucked that up more if they tried. Like everything about it. The fact that it's, let's take this classic teen superhero show, which is well renowned for being fun and slightly away from the classic DC grain, and make it edgy, because nobody's seen that before.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't believe Robin kills people.
No. That's Dick Grayson. Dick
Right.
Grayson, who was so noble, Bright, that he left Batman to become Nightwing because he was getting really angry with Batman being super brutal. If they'd used Jason Todd,
Yep.
the Robin who died and came back and became Red Robin with guns and started fucking shooting
would
people,
make more sense.
that would make more sense. But they haven't.
Yeah, it's also the fuck Batman.
This-
It's trying so hard to be edgy.
This
Bitch,
trailer.
please, he gave you everything.
This trailer feels like they've taken the cringiest part from 10 trailers and just like put them into one.
This is supposed to be like the Netflix Daredevil like contender, like in terms of that bracket. Like this is meant, and this to me looks like you guys were saying, like other movies. You know when you see like compilation trailers and they've just taken stock footage from different things.
Oh, and they put edgy track over
Yeah,
it.
it's got a really bad
Yeah,
color
yeah.
grade because it wasn't ever meant to have this kind of color
I
grade.
dare
That's what
say-
this whole thing looks like to me.
I did say even Gotham could beat this.
Those are bold words, Luke.
Those are bold
I
words.
unironically quite like Gotham.
So I will watch like 2 episodes just to see how shit it is.
Nah, fuck it. I'm not even gonna try with this one.
I am.
I think that's all that needs to be said, really. Right, so coming out September 7th, 2018, Marvel and Netflix will be releasing season 2 of Iron Fist. Original showrunner Scott Buck is out.
Yes!
He's been fired. He will not be returning after his tragic attempts at season 1 of Iron Fist and Inhumans. In his place is Scott Buck, Sleeper Hollow, Falling Skies, and Heroes Reborn.
You just said the same person twice there, buddy.
Did I?
Yeah,
Oh,
Scott Buck
okay.
fired, Scott Buck. Scott Buck
Someone's
is
in,
dead.
someone's
Long
out.
live Scott Buck.
It's a short ass trailer.
Yeah, it was super
You
short.
just punched the cameraman out.
Yeah, so the main point of the trailer is basically Danny Rand has replaced Daredevil as the protector of Hell's Kitchen in New York.
Who the fuck's Danny Rand? Is that
Danny
Danny
Rand
This is
Iron
the name of
Fist.
Iron Fist.
Danny Rand,
From Man Industries.
Yes.
Iron Fist, will be the new protector of New York. There seems to be either a returning threat of the Hand or someone else has taken its place. little is actually known about season 2 at the moment, but it's coming out in a month's time, so I guess we've got
Yeah,
time
that's
to.
I haven't seen the
my-
Defenders yet.
Yeah, I would honestly say don't waste your time watching season 1. Honestly, the beginning of Defenders pretty much wraps up where the character is in 2 episodes, and then goes into the Defenders, which is the last 6 of the episodes. In terms of this trailer, what do people think of it?
Very short. Quite mediocre. He just doesn't do a lot. And obviously, you're talking about the choreography of the karate. It still wasn't really there. So it didn't impress me at all.
I would give it a non-plus, or between non-plus, not excited.
I'm about to say, I'm really, really torn because I am excited for the new season, but as a trailer, it really sucks.
Yeah, I'm going to say not excited, and I'm probably not going to watch it unless people say it's actually good.
I have really high hopes just because, again, his more recent stuff after his own first season, he was really, really good in it. And I want to see more of that.
Okay.
I would say there seems to be less cutting in the fight scenes this time, whereas last time, every time he threw a punch, it would cut to a different angle. We at least get a few punches this time where you actually see him doing a bit of choreography. I am excited enough to watch the new season. I really hope they don't skimp on a lot of the stuff that it felt like a cock tease in the last season. Like the whole hand, he spent most of the season not using it and complaining about how he couldn't use it. And then in the 2 or 3 moments he uses it essentially on a door, and that's about it.
Nice. Okay.
Said it, and the word
All I
appeared.
can think of is the
his
line at
power.
the end of Unbreakable, which is, "We should have listened to the children. They called me Mr. Glass." It's just such a great line.
So this one will be continuing the films Unbreakable and Split, both by M. Night Shyamalan, after a long hiatus of doing shit movies. He is somewhat back, maybe not back. I mean,
yeah, apparently
people still
Split is
can't
good.
decide if he's any good or not, or maybe this has just been a fluke of about three movies. Last year's Split with James McAvoy did receive a lot of praise from critics. People really liked it. Some people didn't. But the one thing it did lead to was finding out that it was part of a 14-year-old movie called Unbreakable, starring Bruce Willis and Samuel L. Jackson, who are returning to reprise their roles in this movie. Part of the fun of Unbreakable was finding out that it was a comic book movie, and then part of Split was finding out it was linked to that movie.
Another twist.
Another twist.
What a twist.
So what's
What
the
a
twist going to
twist.
be in this movie then?
They're
It
actually all
wasn't a
mentally
comic
ill.
book movie all along.
None of them are superheroes.
No, this is, it cuts back. You've got M. Night Shyamalan pitching this to Bruce Willis, James McAvoy, and Samuel L. Jackson in the same room. They all just get up and leave.
I mean, it's a great cast.
Like, it's a really good cast. I'm excited. I haven't seen Split, but I have seen
those people?
Money.
I haven't seen. Like, to be fair, well, he's worked with Jackson and Willis before, and obviously he was able to convince McAvoy. So once you're in M. Night Shyamalan's like
To be fair,
circle,
watching
you're
that
there.
trailer, McAvoy's performance in it is the one thing that I might go and see the movie
Yeah,
for.
McAvoy's really good, and I've heard him be praised a lot for Split. But Split, like, just there's it. I can't really take it seriously. How does it link it to the original movie?
So the end of the film is basically, it goes along a diner, and in classic M. Night Shyamalan fashion with really clunky dialogue, it's on the TV, and they're talking about how James McAvoy's escaped. He took a few shotguns to the face, and they're on the hunt for him. And then someone goes, this is like that thing that happened 14 years ago. What was that guy called? And then she leans back, and it's just
he's-
Bruce Willis there going, Mr. Glass. And then it's like,
dear.
dun, dun, and then it ends.
To be fair, I would definitely have to give that as a will watch.
Yeah, I mean, M. Night Shyamalan's come out and said that this will be the first fully grounded superhero movie that he's seen, which I'm interested to see what that actually means. I hope it does well, because maybe we'll see more lower scale superhero movies that don't end in city destruction and things like that, and maybe it will be just a bit more about kind of just killing a bunch of people.
When you say fully grounded, edit in
Yeah.
a clip of him climbing on the fucking ceiling.
What's your reviews of that one?
I'm semi-erect.
Cool. Rob?
This is definitely a will watch for me.
I'm also in the same. I definitely will watch.
I don't know if it's going to be any good, but I'm going to watch it for the actors.
Mainly because it's just a return of 2 actors from a film I really, really loved. I'm going to be there. I'm going to see it opening day, because even if
Opening
it's
day?
opening
Goddamn.
day, because as much as like I was kind of on and off Split, upon second viewing, knowing what it was meant to be, I enjoyed it more. So yeah, I'll be there opening day. Right, our next video will be Godzilla.
So one thing I will say, I don't know if anybody else picked up on this. There's this really subtle theme in this one about how humans are killing the planet. I don't know if
I
anybody
did,
else
I
picked
did
up on
pick
that.
up on that,
No,
actually.
I think it's really more of a message. It's an environmental thing, really. That
Really?
So we're like, it's a
I didn't
90s
get that at
Australian
all.
movie.
one interesting thing I will say, someone pointed out while I was watching a breakdown of the trailer earlier that the jets, you see jets, although they're a bit hard to make out in the screen we're watching it on, they're actually flying with Godzilla, not towards him. So showing that Godzilla is probably going to be in his traditional role as the good guy. Potentially,
jetpack.
But yeah, jetpack. They're just lifting it up to him.
Jetzilla.
But the other thing as well is that there's a chance that we're going to have a Mothra Mothra and Godzilla teaming up. Because
Moth jetpack!
From the theories that are going on at the moment is that Millie Bobby Brown's character is going to be in some way communicating with Mothra. And so
Is she just got typecast as psychic monster chick?
potentially because you've got Rodan, which is you've got Rodan, and then you've got the three-headed monster King Ghidorah.
King Ghidorah?
Yeah.
Good God, he's a
Is
pretty
King
badass
Ghidorah
name.
the one who emerges from the sea? Oh no, because it's Godzilla that comes out of the sea, isn't it?
Yeah.
King Ghidorah is the one with the three heads.
Yes.
I'm wondering whether I might
Siblings?
enjoy this more than the first one. Because the first one...
I love how we all came out of the cinema and all the guys were like, "Yeah, Godzilla."
And all the women were like, I
It
never
was
watched it.
alright.
We didn't plan for that to happen. That's how it happened.
It was alright.
No, I never watched it because I couldn't give a shit about Godzilla. This has changed my mind.
This reminds me a bit more of Pacific Rim.
Yeah.
And I maybe this will give me the closure of having a second Pacific Rim film that's good.
Well, that's the thing. I never watched Pacific Rim either.
The first one's really good.
I'm not a big fan of kaiju movies, but I don't know what it is about this one. But when I first sat down and watched this trailer, it's the moment where Mothra unfurls his wings, and that scene was so nice. And I thought, Jesus Christ, the monsters look really cool. I'm actually excited for
The last
this.
one I enjoyed, but I don't think I would enjoy it upon second viewing, just because of how little happens in it.
It was all a
was about to
reveal,
say,
wasn't it?
I
Like, not
kind
a lot
of-
have happened. So I think because we're going to be a lot more monsters in it, it means we'll
gonna
be able to do a lot
fight.
more, like, that slow reveal stuff.
Yeah, the first one was enjoyable whenever Godzilla was there.
Yeah, I'm really excited. The other rumor I did hear is that even though we've got 4 confirmed monsters, those might not be all the monsters. we get.
I assume they'll keep the most cool one until the actual movie.
I will watch that. I'm actually excited for it. I will watch it.
Luke,
Yeah, I'm half-mast.
cool.
I'm already there.
Ah, okay.
I'll watch it probably at the cinema.
So for our next one, we'll be looking at Fantastic Beasts and the Crimes of Grindelwald. I unexpectedly really liked the last
first one was
Fantastic
so
Beasts.
fun.
It was a lot of fun, like Maddie said. It
I haven't
was
seen it.
It was the same. So Maddie and I just sat down to watch it randomly. We didn't see it in the cinema. We kind of regretted that because it was just so, as I say, unequivocally fun.
I like the music and I like the apparitions actually look like cool.
that is the Mirror of Erised. What he desires most would be to be with him, which is why he can't go after him himself, because he knows he's weak to his charms, essentially. That was the reason why Dumbledore was like, I was young and foolish and I got wrapped up in what he was about. And people will suspect that more so he was in love with him himself.
He's an evil tyrant, but love.
But I love him. I can change him.
He's just misunderstood.
I wish he didn't look. I wish Johnny Depp's character didn't look so spooky. Like, you don't need to make him look weird.
At least he's not the good guy
That
this
was weird
time. He
casting.
always looks spooky, but he's always the good guy. And this time he looks
Yeah.
spooky, but he's actually the bad guy.
I think this might actually let him be different. Finally, he might actually get out of his fucking acting style he's been stuck in for 15 years.
I hate to say it, but I don't think he will.
My worry is when he showed up in the last film, he was the worst part about that film.
Yeah.
So the idea that he's meant to be the antagonist in this one.
The one thing I'm taking away from this is I only found out today that they're planning on turning this into a 5-film series.
5 films, not
And
3.
I kind of sat down at that and I thought, oh, for fuck's sake. It's just kind of like the Harry Potter films, based on a series of 7 books, turned into 8 films. I can almost forgive. I didn't
I
even
can-
see the
I
last
can
ones
forgive
in the
that.
end. But when I heard about Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, I never saw it. I still haven't seen it. But I thought, okay, great. It'll be a magical adventure. and it'll be a chance for them to flex their muscles and show the magical creatures that were mentioned in the original book. But now it sounds like they're trying to turn him into a big hero fighting this dark wizard, and it feels like that was never supposed to be the point of it.
What does everyone think of that one?
That was very... I'm middling between meh and not excited. Like, it hasn't made me want to see the first one, especially if this one's going to be less like it, and also because we've been discussing it. Like, I feel like, from what I did see of it, the original casting they had for Grindelwald was way better than Johnny Depp.
It was so much better.
Like, I don't want more Johnny Depp. He's had his time. Let him fucking die.
I have a little chub.
I would have to say that I'm between not excited and will watch, just because I'm not sure which direction the films are going now.
I'm between will watch and already there because I really enjoyed the first one.
This can't be good. We need to pull back. Get on the portals. If we can draw them out, we can see them. If we can see them, we can hit them.
Hello, Master. It's been a while.
Erections everywhere.
Okay, that
Clone Wars
hashtag's enough.
saved.
I
You
know.
cancelled it, you fucks. Don't take the high ground.
That's my biggest issue with it. Don't put hashtag Star Wars.
We did
saved
it, guys.
As if you did something impressive.
Yeah.
You revitalized and brought back a new season.
I was going to say, I'm not sure where this one's going to leave off, whether it's but the chances are that we could be seeing an Order 66 from another side on this.
If this is going to be the final series, it would be the sensible thing to do and maybe have the last episode be when they are actually stormtroopers.
So yeah, what are people's opinions on it?
I would say I'm already there. I'm definitely gonna watch this. Like, it's more Star Wars. I'm happy.
I'm not excited only on the grounds that it's not going to be for a very long time that I'm going to be able to watch all 6 seasons preceding it to then watch it. However, I would say it's very, very nice that Star Wars and Disney have actually finally decided to make a Star Wars property that people actually want.
Star Wars isn't something I get, like, it's not one of the franchises I get really excited about anyway. I'm probably not gonna watch it.
By that I mean I'm gonna force you.
I mean, like, I'll watch it if other people are, but I wouldn't bother by myself.
I wouldn't even do that. I'd be like, you're putting us on? Cool, I'm going to go do something else.
I think I'll give this a watch at some point. If it comes out on Netflix again like it did before and it's free,
Yeah,
I'll
if it's on
watch it.
Netflix, I might just, like, have it as a background show.
I'm probably going to skip Disenchantment just because we're running late. Anyone have anything to say about it if they caught it?
Fantastic.
I'm
Yeah, 10.
very excited for that series. I
Yeah.
think it could be one of the better, like, it could be it could be very well done. The humor seems just spot on for like that kind of thing.
It's very Futurama.
It's very Futurama, very like it's more leaning to Futurama than Simpsons, I think.
Right, okay.
That actually makes me a bit more interested in it. When I saw creator of Simpsons does fantasy show, I just thought, okay, that's something I don't need to care about. I do not care.
I'm
Matt
probably
Groening
gonna
is
watch it.
boring.
And for the last thing, we'll be looking at Better Call Saul Season 4 trailer.
It's going to be strange, like, him actually starting to become more of a Saul than a Jimmy.
Yeah, you can see that. They're like, oh, let's just rip the band-aid off because you're like, this is where stuff starts going in that
Fucking
direction.
down the pan.
Definitely.
Yeah, because all the way through the seasons before, we're like, how is he going to get here? It's not going to end well. We know it's not going to end well.
Look at all these friends he has.
Yeah, look at everything's
yeah.
going great for him.
To be
I
yeah.
hope that it doesn't just start to feel like a Breaking Bad.
Well, I've heard that this one is literally going to be the transition to Breaking Bad.
I did read an article today, and the tagline I think they used was that the season is going to be more of an evolution. It's beyond what Breaking Bad is. It's not just going to be the same thing, but it's going to try and like evolve its own stance on
Because
it.
as much as I love Breaking Bad, I love Better Call Saul because it was more of the intrigue.
Yeah.
Well, the show had always done quite a lot to show that it was going to flash forward at some point. Like every season began with Saul in his apartment, being shat on by getting stuck in a dustbin area, watching old reruns of his tapes. So it's setting up.
He didn't say who he was being shot on by, so I'm just
Seagulls.
I'm choosing to think I forgot that scene.
He's having a shit life.
Constantly looking over his shoulder, there's something that still haunts him to this day outside of the Breaking Bad world, and I think that if you've watched Breaking Bad, like the show's been really good so far. If you've watched Breaking Bad, there's stuff in there that you'll notice, but it's not important to the story, and I think it has carved
No, you
its
you
own
don't have
path.
to watch Breaking Bad, but you should because it's good.
But it'll be interesting watching almost like a fall from grace here, because like Jimmy McGill as a character is kind of sympathetic. Like you feel for him.
You just don't want him to fuck it up.
If I remember correctly, Kim doesn't show up in the other series at all.
No, she
does
is not in Breaking Bad.
I reckon she's gonna die.
I see. I don't think it's going to be that. I think it's going to be something else. Like,
Do you want to make an on-air bet?
Ooh, I think she's going to take the fall. She's going to get compromised in something he's caught up with, and she's going to go to prison.
Oh. Well, it seems like I don't think she'll die. I had the bet between her and Chuck. Chuck's, if you go to the funeral.
Oh, okay.
yeah.
So
Yeah, they wouldn't do it twice.
I'm gonna miss Chuck.
I
think
tracked my bet. Didn't
it was always going to be one of them that died, and I think they've used the death. So whatever happens to Kim, it's either
Worse
she
than
walks away, or it's worse than death.
I don't know if that excludes Kim dying. I mean, Breaking Bad never played very much on a only one person can die per season rule.
Yeah.
I think if they think it will make good drama, then they will happily kill off both, because that effectively completely removes Jimmy's ties from Jimmy.
You see, I think that it has to be Kim walking away, because if Kim gets caught in some sort of scam, Jimmy's just going to feel bad. Like, he's going to feel bad enough, at least the way he acts, to try and get her out of it, or like even try to like become a straight man again, to try and help her.
Anyway, this trailer has got me really pumped. I was really like kind of bummed out when I found out it was getting pushed to September, but apparently it's coming out the 6th of August, which is like in a couple of weeks.
Yeah,
so
I'm
I
so
am
hyped.
so excited to bring back Breaking Bad, because it was fucking awesome, and I'm looking forward to returning. on that
Not
train.
excited only because I don't want to have to watch 6 seasons and then 3 seasons to get it.
Okay.
I'm pretty hyped.
Already there.
There could have been no trailer, and I would already be watching it if it was out.
I
so-
agree with Maddie. I was going to watch it regardless of what was happening, so
Yeah.
this was the thing. That's our thought on Comic-Con this year. If you want to see our full comments on each of the trailers, please find a link in the description to a slightly longer podcasted version of this video, where you'll hear more in-depth discussion on each of the trailers and a little bit more about what we thought. Please like and subscribe. Thank you very much, and we'll see you next time. Bye.